And we should be live and unmuted. Alrighty. Sorry, I'm just fidgeting with stuff. Okay. Well, it's actually I was going to do the intros, but Carissa, this is your day again. I'm so sorry. Carry on.
Go ahead. You're more than welcome to.
Fair enough. Welcome to any and all who may be joining us this wonderful evening to the most recent episode of The Dead Sea God. And then as far as last time, does anyone wish to share? And if not, we can give an approximate breakdown, I suppose.
You mean like
We're
a recap?
going on a boat.
Yes, recap is what I meant, Carissa. But yes, we are indeed going on a boat, Carissa. I think, especially because we, for once and most gloriously, have all 5 members present. You may wish to give the info dump of the important bits, just to make certain everyone is aware and remembers correctly.
We
All
also
right.
went to go get paid, and turns out that we unearthed a greater conspiracy. So we got to go on the boat for
Guys,
the
go
greater
on the boat.
conspiracy.
All right. Well, like everybody said, a couple things were revealed last session. Mostly that Halfling McSteely Pants is not easy to track, unfortunately. A new flag was possibly crafted. And we have found out that the symbol that was found in the bandits' camp seems to be connected to a string of thievery and murder, possibly also connected to Barrett Kanan, who was the person who had commissioned the perishable goods that actually ended up being our lovely new companion to the party, our micro griffin. And a lot of other just little like miscellaneous things. But in general, everybody is on board with a little bit of subterfuge, going on a gambling yacht slash riverboat and finding out some shit. We left off with Dran, you guys' contact to the Merchants Guild who sent you on your first mission, getting paid from him and him wrangling you into this. And Ezekiel, who once he leaves this room, you guys don't know anymore, and he will pretend he doesn't know you anymore. Kind of giving you guys the run over and trying to help you find ways onto the boat. You were given 2 tickets to give to whichever players that you guys deemed the most appropriate. There was a small downtime conversation that happened last week that kind of went over ideas that people had and what would they be looking for job-wise. But as it stands right now, the party is currently still at Dran's room talking about things. And you guys are more than welcome to ask questions about what you want to do and where you want to go next.
I have a real quick question, because this list, I'm assuming that's up in front of us of like what's on the docket.
Yes.
The person that I know that's going to be here, can I roll like insight or investigation to see if I get a bead on what they're here for, if any of these things?
Yeah.
Which one would
And
you like me to roll?
Lindsay, I'll let you field that question if you want.
You're sort of trying to judge somebody's motives. I feel like that's an insight.
Here's my cheesy question. Do I have advantage on that since I know this person
I
that
would
well?
I would say that is reasonable, Carissa.
I like it.
Very well. Carry on with your advantaging.
Game's paused. I don't know if she can roll.
Oh, well, she did roll. The game is now unpaused.
Well, I didn't roll so good either way.
I will send you a quick message with what you know, allowing others to do things. Oh. Sorry, just catching up on some other messages. Where was I? I was here. Sorry. Okay.
All right. So Ezekiel kind of looks across the group and is like, all right, you guys kind of got to look at it as just like a casino on the river. Do you guys have any ideas for what you feel like you would be good at there, or anything I can kind of like point you in the right direction for, to like who to talk to? Because once I leave here, I can't help you anymore. So I kind of need to know what you guys are looking for so I can tell you like who you can go find that job from.
Well, what jobs are available before we can make that decision?
So, if any of you have ever been on a casino, it's kind of the same stuff. You got your card dealers, your people who kind of help with the other gambling games. Three Dragon Ante is really big right now. You got your servers, you got your bartenders, you got your waiters, you got your VIP hosts. You've got on there. You might be able to get a bodyguard position, but it wouldn't be somebody who works specifically for the auction. It'd be for the boat itself. You got your cooks, you got your general wait staff, you got your cleaners, and then there is an engine room. But I feel like that one, unless any of you are familiar with boats, would be a little hard to prove that you're competent at. Steamboats, I should say.
Who do I talk to about? And it's with like serious hesitation and almost resignation. Cook jobs.
Uh, Ezekiel looks a little worried at how reluctantly you said that, but he goes, "Well, I mean, probably."
Oh, wait. Dron chimes in. Isn't he on the list here? As he and I are both trying to look at these papers here.
So Ezekiel looks kind of embarrassed. Shit, fuck. And he like starts moving stuff around on the table. He's like, I missed that person. So technically, the boatman's wife, fuck. He starts like digging through his pockets to try to find stuff. He's like, I accidentally put somebody on here twice and not the actual person you'd want to talk to for that. So the boatman, the guy who actually owns the boat, his husband is the lead chef on the boat. This is actually their main boat. That would be Rum that you're looking to talk to. Rum is a stoat shifter. He'd probably actually stay on the boat. It's kind of his baby. You could probably just walk up and talk to the person that's manning the docks near the boat, and they would get you an interview pretty quickly. That was one of the hardest groups hit, so it shouldn't be too hard to get a job out of that.
That's such a manly, stoic nod. He's in pain. This is his secret, and now he has to use it. Terrible.
Also, Chris, I'm really sorry. I wasn't trying to point out anything. I was genuinely looking for it, and then I realized, wait, I'm sorry.
Ezekiel just takes a giant fucking like quill pen and scribbles all over it. Never mind. Anyways, anybody else?
Are there any of those VIP positions open for
He goes, there's a handful left. Those tend to be a little bit harder to get into because you're kind of going to be the face of the boat. I would suggest, and he kind of looks you up and down. He's like, I would suggest looking a little bit more. Not that you're not pretty. I would suggest looking a bit more like Arm Candy if you wanted that position. Maybe
I'd roll my eyes and say, I can do that.
Okay. After that, you could probably. Anyways, Ezekiel looks immediately very much uncomfortable. Yeah, and then you could probably much like Benny, just talk to the person at the front gate because that will be somebody who's working as a staff on the boat. Any of the staff boat positions, that's where you would want to go, and then they would direct you to the appropriate person to get interviewed by. That one you probably wouldn't be interviewed directly by Rum or Axton, the boat owner. You'd probably be talking to one of the managerial staff for that position, which good for privacy purposes, bad because I don't have information on all of them.
Okay, thank you. Also, one more question. Would
Mm.
be willing to pet sit our newest member of our group? I'm a little hesitant to bring him aboard since the griffins were supposed to be for auction.
Ezekiel's kind of like, I can't. I'm actually going to be at the auction. Dran?
Staring daggers at the man. He's got to do it.
Is the bird currently in the satchel?
He is currently in the satchel and is asleep, like a log, literally.
Dran is John's gonna like look over into the bag and be like, I don't tend to take care of things.
Well, I don't tend to dress up.
I wasn't finished.
Get his ass.
Thank
Get
you.
his ass.
I was going to say I shall tend to it, but you will need to leave me written instructions. Thank you.
Okay. I apologize.
Ezekiel looks a little worried about your chosen path plus your statement. She's like, okay.
What every pet owner has to do when they leave their pet in the care of someone else. You have to write up all the instructions, the health needs, the feeding schedule. It's okay.
Why they'll
I mean,
bite,
it's only like a day and a half roughly, and then I shall obviously be able to hand him back to you once we meet again at the I as a DM am a dumb and forgot to name the capital where this boat is going to. I will take care of that. He knows
To the
name of
end destination point.
Yes, thank you.
I could hear the brackets around it.
There was an attempt.
I grab a piece of paper and a pen off his desk and start writing down notes.
Very good.
Thank
Alright.
you. I'm sorry for being so in your face.
Ezekiel kind of looks around and he's like, I'm gonna be honest, I haven't memorized any of your names, and that's on purpose. And he kind of holds open a open hand to gesture to Faraday and is like, so what are you thinking?
I want to be one of the tickets. I feel like I could have the most fun. I mean, I could get the most information by being with all of the people. And also, I feel like I should be staked with a lot of money, because what's a better way to get... I know it's at the auction, okay? But if I'm sitting there gambling, I'm talking with people. I'm making friends. And no, you tell information with your friends also. I should buy them drinks, so they tell me more information, more money I need.
I'm so sold.
Ezekiel's just kind of looking at you like, uh-huh.
Standing behind Faraday, nodding.
Ezekiel just kind of like slowly turns and looks at Duran and is like, this one's all you, man. I don't... this is your party.
Yep. From a DM perspective here, did we agree on a value of money we were willing to loan them for this purposes?
I think
loan
500 was nixed. I know that much.
I did ask for 500, and I was told no.
You were laughed at.
Yes. I was like, that's not happening. No. Well, for food and beverages, and assuming you stay at the low stakes, before Dran says it, Carissa, does 100 gold sound reasonable, or is that too much? I don't know how much people take to gamble. I've never been to a casino. Too much?
That's a lot.
Okay.
That's a
That's
lot.
a lot
100
of
bucks.
money.
Since they take
Okay.
500 bucks.
Oh, now you're asking me for a conversion. Okay, so in that case, we're looking at like 50.
I would say
Let
we can do 50.
Okay, that sounds right. Sorry.
So out of character, I would say that because the items are so expensive, we did talk about giving a stipend so you could actually bet on things, but you would be expected to pay it back. So I think the easiest way that this conversation would go is that they would agree to give you X amount of money, with this amount being you don't have to repay it.
Don't have to
Okay.
repay.
Yes, that was
So-
explicitly stipulated.
So if you buy something from the auction with the exorbitant amount of gold that they give you to pretend like you are somebody who should actually be here spending money, you have to either give them the item that you bid on or give them back the money they gave you. However, they'll give you a small amount of money that is not expected to be paid back to booze your way into good graces of other people.
Okay, if that's just the case, then I feel like, and especially just because there's only 2 that are going to be on the floor with the tickets, I feel like 25 between the 2 of them might even be reasonable.
I would agree.
Okay. So 25 between the 2 of you. All right, so 25 gold between the 2 of you
Who
for
have tickets.
yes, for the tickets, for meals and cover purposes, and then X amount of gold that you will need to repay. I will have a receipt.
So no buying any boats, you guys.
You wouldn't own the boats afterwards. You can buy
You fucking
them.
commandeer this gigantic boat and just are like, oh no, we didn't buy this.
You guys are just gonna get on the boat and
Stolen.
try to kick everybody off and be like, "Oh, Silver,
It's
our
our
level
boat."
1 butts are about to commandeer this fucking
we
yacht.
could
Let's
do
go!"
that.
Exactly.
And
Let's
we'd have
go.
everything on
So
the boat.
just
all
to
the special
confirm,
things.
you guys have decided that you are now going to be Somali pirates. That is what we are doing now. This is the game.
No, that
My
sounds like death.
backstory.
Okay.
I don't see anything wrong with this.
Oh god.
I would like to remind you that out of character, you guys know that there's people on here with both skills and money to make people disappear. That maybe this isn't the boat to commandeer for your first
Oh.
Somali pirate village.
We could
Eventually.
Make them
steal
disappear first.
McSteely Face's boat. His boat should be the boat that we steal first.
There you go.
Absolutely, it should be.
Gotta start off with Halfling McSteely Pants, and then you can move your way up to
Yeah.
Barrett Kanan's empire.
And we'll take down the whole empire.
That's it. You're gonna be like, your empire, it's now mine, sir, because I said so.
Yeah, we're building our own empire now.
There
And
you
we're gonna
go.
rival it. Capitalism.
Capitalism.
The only reason it's so big is because there was no competition. But this is a free market, and we will be the competition.
Yeah, it breeds
I would like to
innovation and
remind you that it's
competition.
heavily implied that Barrett is the most legal end of the kind of stuff like this. That means there's people that aren't legal.
Oh, so we should be with them?
If you want to be a pirate, Barrett Kanan is not a pirate. Barrett Kanan is a businessman.
I don't want to encourage chaos, but technically, if you were looking for a nefarious organization who does bad shit, you're literally trying to track them down as part of this quest.
So what if
Technically-
instead we ask them for a job?
I was going to say
Hopefully
we
so.
have not
Quotes.
stipulated one way or the other technically, but that is definitely not necessarily the plan we made, but plans change, I guess.
There's also a handful of people on this boat that you do not know what their connections are.
Again,
So
this could be networking. Networking is nice.
get your fingers in some pies. Out of character, real quick, because Day wasn't here for the midterm. We did, and this can still be debated right now, do not get me wrong. We did put up a small vote of who people thought should get the 2 tickets, just to kind of streamline things. And the choices were Faraday and Ray for plot reasons and ability to find other jobs. Obviously, you weren't here, so if you would like to, when Ezekiel asks your character, give your 2 cents on why you think Koki should get one of the tickets, by all means. But that's kind of why nobody was saying anything while Farida was doing her piece.
Anyway, I gathered as much because, yeah, I completely forgot to ask about that because I was so excited about dinner.
Our bad. We should have mentioned it before the session started, and then like a few
Oops.
people started talking about it. I was like, oh.
Yeah, we got distracted
Mildly
with
quick.
many other convos.
Hey, do you have the real conversion rate for USD? Because if so, I gave the Bean Man $180-ish.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, there's a reason I mentioned
That's
that
a lot of fucking beans.
gold was. I mentioned that fact that it. Okay, so the actual conversion. I think I actually figured out the. So the problem is that really, the gold shouldn't be the $1, but not the $1. Like it's not quite the 10, and it's not quite the 100. It's a really weird calculation type thing.
It's $311. One gold.
That
ticket.
also doesn't quite sound right. Tell you what, I think I actually
Is
tried
that like
to
the
do this method
conversion
once.
to like the value of real life gold, or is that what people say D&D gold is worth?
This is the D&D wiki.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't know that they actually had a conversion rate for it. Shit. I do know that they've got it in like the DMG. What a like a day like a worker's salary is in gold and stuff. I think. I remember because you guys were potentially going to have to hire a tradesman. Shoot.
Can you keep going and you can get back to that?
Yes, continue going, and I will try to remember what math is.
Okay. So Ezekiel kind of looks at Koki and is like, hey, so what do you think you could realistically do?
Well, I'm a pretty darn good entertainer. I can teach salsa classes, and I could probably put on even a little performance at nighttime if you need me to.
He nods. He's like, I feel like if we had more time, teaching a class would definitely be viable. People like to be entertained in that sort of way, but I think short term it might be easier for you to try to get in on the entertainment that's already set up. The dancing route could definitely go. He kind of looks your character up and down and is like, yeah, no, you could definitely like sign up to like be a dancer or something if you feel like that's the kind of skills that you got. I'd go the same place I already told the other two to go to. Normally the shows they have outfits already there, so you wouldn't have to worry about acquiring that on your own.
That sounds good to me. Do I have time to like practice with them beforehand, or is it something that we come up with on the boat?
He's like, they'd probably give you like they're not going to expect anything spectacular with them filling in slots, so you're not have to worry about getting anything super complicated. They'd probably have you run through a couple sets to prove that you could do it, and then kind of rank you from there, and then see if you fit into the slots that they need.
All right, sounds good to me. I think I could do that.
All right. And so then he kind of does the hand motion to Ray. He's like, "What about you?"
Ears just perking up immediately. I think it only makes sense to put me in the place with as many people as possible so I can gather information. He was gonna say pickpockets and he realized maybe not.
Ezekiel just kind of looks at Ray and is like, "So, as a firm reminder, I don't know you. Just so we're on the same page. However, I do now know you, and you keep your paws off me."
He looks so offended by that.
Ezekiel does not seem concerned at all by his offense.
What have I ever done to you?
Ezekiel goes, "Listen, I work with some of the most obscure, unique, weird people you will ever meet. And if you think a last moment redaction of your intention is going to fly by on me, you have not been paying attention to and he points at the table, stupid amount of information I carry around at all times.
Fine, I want to pick some pockets and see if I can get any information that way. Jesus. Well,
Oh.
or the D&D version of Jesus.
Good enough. Good enough.
Midas
He's like,
would
"All right."
actually, Midas might actually be a good substitute, being that he died for his children.
Actually, yeah. You
Actually
could
would be the
totally
closest
Midas.
substitute.
Reaches over and pats Ray on the head to make him feel a little bit better because he just got told real.
All I'm saying is then, if you work around with a lot of weird people, a lot of eccentric people, then you should be able to tell my character just by looking at me because you have seen other people who are undoubtedly way worse than me.
Are you telling me that all sneaky people are thieves?
No, I'm saying that you shouldn't judge me because you don't know me, since you have so much information.
You're right, I do. He kind of
And what
just looks at
information?
you. Like,
What
I'm not
information do
quite.
you have on me?
Well, I mean, whatever you gave the guild to begin with, and then the way you're standing, and then what you just said.
The way I'm standing?
Yeah, he kind of just gestures at you. He's like, you're obviously very skilled, dexterous. You shift around a lot. You have had multiple people in the party physically move around you when you've done things. Duran told me that you tried to steal something from him when you first got here. On top of that, you redacted what you were saying earlier. And I think it kind of speaks for itself how defensive you are right now in a non-clear, non-precise way.
I snicker.
Anyways,
say
as I was
Dron is-
going to suggest, Barrett Kanan's men are probably a little bit above the average pickpockets thief level. Not that I'm saying you are average. I would avoid them just to avoid attention, just in case you do run across one of the few that is better than the others. You'll be able to tell that they're Barrett Kanan's men. They have a little emblem of ram's horns that they wear on their lapel. If you're looking for information, I would suggest not those ones.
Considering the interaction we had during our first meeting, I also recommend not being too handsy.
Another pat on the head. Maybe next time.
Also, quick aside, I disagree with the D&D's wiki definition of how much a single gold piece is worth because that makes no freaking sense based off of what they have in the book here, unless you are telling me a basic living condition costs $300 a day, because that is the going rate for a modest lifestyle.
It's not adjusted for inflation.
The
Anyway.
problem with the conversion of gold is that it doesn't take into consideration NPCs versus PCs is the biggest complaint that I see.
Yep.
PC spending power for items is not exactly matched well when dealing with NPC value. Are you done making angry faces at me?
There's the other there's the other thing about whenever you go into a town or a city, your dollar is worth way less. So it could be
Yeah.
the difference between where you're buying things. Because if you go into the city, especially back in a time when rural areas were like, super country, the living expense out there was so much lower than a city.
True.
This is fair. If nothing else, the calculation here for services is kind of what I'm going off of. Skilled labor, so that's like a smith or something, I assume, is, and we actually have a different book that tells you how much it costs to like hire a smith to do stuff. But just base book, it's 2 gold pieces per day per skilled labor and 2 silver pieces per day of untrained labor. So again,
So yeah, it's very wonky, and unfortunately, we're not going to be able to money it for you. We're going to give you amount of money that will let you do what you want as a player to do on the boat. But we're not going to be like, that's the equivalent of like $3,000. And like, if you want like ridiculous amounts of like, but very quick reasons on why the system is broken, one of the classes you guys were offered were craftsmen. And craftsmen specialize in making your guys' items better before you go into battles, like enchanting shit, making better shit, that sort of thing.
Wow, that
And
sounds crazy.
they're super cool, but in order to keep them balanced, there's a limitation for how much they can make in their downtime that doesn't make logical sense. Like
And
when
it
you
also
start thinking about
costs 25 gold pieces, I think, per item, right?
not only that, if you make things as a craftsman, you can't really sell it. So you can use your downtime as a craftsman to make things that you can sell to NPCs, and you can make things to put on yourself and your party members, and those are almost two separate pools the way that it works. And the way that like lore wise that it works is that the craftsman is custom making pieces for the party out of odds and ends on the fly, and that's why they can pull it off the way that they can and why it can't be transferable to someone else. Because if the craftsman was able to make enough stuff to be useful as a separate class, they would literally break the economy. Like
Okay.
they would just bust out the bottom of it. So D&D mechanics for money is wonky as shit. But yes.
I just
Like-
don't want to accidentally bet 100 USD on a roulette wheel. Like I'm trying
Well,
to do
so
it.
it's going to be balanced internally. So like there's going to be, if I understand how casino tables work, there's going to be like different priced tables and everything. So there's probably going to be a table where it's like a 1 gold ante or like 5
Okay.
silver ante or something. But to give you guys like a point of reference here, oh wait, what am I talking about? None of you wear armor. Why am I looking at this chart? I was going to say the armor some of you is wearing is valued at X, and then I remembered are any of you wearing armor? Are any of you proficient? I don't remember. You guys have very
I'm
low health
proficient
and
in light
AC.
armor.
I
Okay.
might have leather.
I think that sounds about right. Anyway, the leather armor you guys are currently wearing is worth like 10 gold pieces if you were to buy it new. Just to give you an idea of where these numbers are coming from. And
Like what, 8 or something like that?
say what?
I said in like a broadsword's only like 8 or something like that. Like
a broad.
and these are
like
things
a
that would
big
take
chunky boy.
multiple days to make. So
Mhm.
anything betting wise more than a gold is like, hello, you are definitely at the high stakes table.
Yeah.
Okay. Also, I'm sorry that I wasted the time. I don't want to just blow through the money. I've never
No.
legally
No.
gambled.
This is fine.
No.
But like I said, it's going to be balanced internally. Just don't necessarily worry about trying to calculate it externally. We had a devil of a time trying to figure out, hey, what kind of scale do we want magical items in this world to be like? What do we
my
want them
God.
to be the equivalent of, like, in the real world? Like low level stuff, and then I was going to try and balance that versus like, okay, well, let's say that it's the value of like like this really low level magic item is like the equivalent of a Prada bag, and then I tried doing the conversion, but that didn't make any sense. So then we just kind of scrapped the whole idea. I appreciate your inquiry because we had the same inquiry. The inquiry failed. This is not a you problem. This is the game. The game is dumb. But it's fun and we
This
love
is
it.
a problem that Lindsay and I already came over and realized there was no clean solution to.
Yes.
Okay.
Also, broadsword isn't listed. Do you mean greatsword?
Didn't mean longsword? Greatsword.
Like,
Sorry.
Longsword. Greatsword is 50 gold pieces actually. That
Is
is a big
it?
hefty boy. Yeah. A longsword is 15.
15. Okay. That's probably what I was thinking of then.
Yeah. Because the greatsword is like a heavy two-handed big boy that's 2d6 versus a long
okay.
sword that is 1d8 that is versatile at 1d10. I think they
Okay.
changed these numbers because I think in 3.5 a long sword was 2d6. I think they swapped these. Huh. Good to know. Anyway, now that that tangent is done, my apologies for derailing with random factoids.
Those necessary factoids, and especially considering they're about to go to an auction, the general meta knowledge of how fucking gold and money works in this, and like the fact that you're all going to be able to gamble if you want to, is good knowledge to have.
Fair.
But like keep in mind, you all got like what, 12 gold for a week-long venture, I think is what it ended up being like per person.
Yes.
Did we get paid?
Yes, you were paid at the very beginning before he asked you to come back after an hour or so.
and then you were paid the other half at the end.
Well, no, he was. You were paid. So technically, the first batch you got before you set out were technically travel expenses,
This is true.
but you don't have to spend them on travel, which you didn't for the most part. And as such, you were allowed to keep that. The second part, when you got back, was technically your payment for the job completed. Both of which were each were 12 gold pieces apiece. I believe I did that math. Yes.
Understood.
And while you
Also-
guys aren't like super high level, you are more skilled than the average person running around doing this stuff. So this isn't like entry level pay by any means. Also,
Quick
I'm sorry to cut
crunch
you off.
question. Quick
Yeah.
crunch question. Also, ignore my dog crying in the background. Oh my god. No, crunch. So I'm assuming I'm gonna have to roll since I have proficiency in utensils. Do I just roll that d20 plus proficiency?
No, you actually, because this is a mechanic that we didn't know was in the game and we were very excited about. But if you are both proficient. Oh wait, no, actually, there isn't a skill accompanied with this. Darn it! I'm sorry, I forgot. Yes, you would just
Skill
roll
for
a
what?
cooking specifically. There isn't like an associated skill for our list, or at least not one
Yeah.
that Benny is proficient in. Whatchalls it? I forget what. Hang on, I have the list for what cooking Yeah, unfortunately for cooking utensils, the relevant skills would be history, medicine, or survival. If he was proficient in those, then he could roll the advantage. He is not, though. So he just rolls the
So it'll
regular.
just be plus proficiency.
Yep, just
Proficiency because of the
proficiency.
tools.
Yep.
Gotcha. Thank
I
you.
would argue Dex too. Is it just a D20 you think, or what stat would we associate that with?
I think it depends on what they're doing, but probably Dex, yeah.
I don't get plus anything to Dex anyway, so
Sorry. I mean, hey,
Well-
if you're wielding like a big cleaver and chopping up like, if you're like in the butcher section and chopping up like big leg things, you could probably roll strength or something too. I don't know.
We all know that's not what Benny specializes in.
I know. I just wanted to throw an
Can we
option out
pretend we
there
don't know?
for where you would
Can we
use
pretend that we
different
don't know
stats.
this? God, I'm gonna
Sorry.
be making confections. I'm gonna be in the confectioner section making such delicate desserts. It'll be great. He'll be so happy for such a
Your
short amount of time.
constitution will come in handy with how often you have to shake that powdered sugar over stuff.
It's gonna be so beautiful. You're not
Holding
even
your
gonna believe
breath
it.
so you don't get your lungs coated with sugar.
I genuinely hope that this is some of the highest dice that you roll for the entire
That'd be
game is
the-
making these confections.
That'd be the way he'd want to go, honestly. Death by powdered sugar. It would make him really happy.
All right.
All right,
Back
sorry,
to the
sorry,
game,
sorry.
unless anybody
yes.
else has meta conversation. Everybody good? Cool. All right. So with that, Ezekiel kind of looks around and goes, okay, that sounds like a pretty decent setup for everybody. I would suggest you all don't go to apply at the same time at the dock. So you might want to stagger yourselves a little bit. I would recommend not lying that you guys know each other, but not making it obvious either. If somebody is asking that if you guys know each other, chances are they probably already know with this group. So I would not recommend directly lying to these people. I would recommend avoiding the questions. Just make it so you don't get asked these questions to begin with.
I mean, all we have to say is they were short on staff and we were available.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
to get the job. I'm saying if somebody goes, do you know that guy who's being a cook in the back? There's a reason why they're asking and why they think that. And directly lying may not be the best with this group of people. Just be careful. Like, do what you think in the moment, but be careful. He goes, all right, with that, let's start. All right, meta-wise, who wants to go and apply first?
We could do rollies.
Let's do rollies. Everybody good with rollies? All of you, the three people who are not using tickets, roll a d20 for me.
God damn it, Sal.
Sorry.
It do be like that.
It
And then
do
we're
be
still
like
waiting
that.
for one from Cookie. Not Cookie.
Oh.
Cookie, no!
I'm glad it's
Cookie goes last.
I was gonna say, I'm glad this is just for order of who gets talked to first rather than anything else.
Yeah, we're getting that one out of the way.
Yep.
So last week we had fantastic rolls, and so what I'm looking at is this week it's not gonna be fantastic.
Seems like it.
No, it'll be real bad.
Benny and Shaba, if you could roll again, please.
All right.
How did I roll the same thing twice? How did this happen?
Sorcery.
All right. So Benny, being a man of action, decides that he's gonna go get this fucking out of the way first.
He is good. And he's realized that probably the best thing to do is sweets because that's his area of ultimate expertise. He can cook a lot of things, but he's best at delicious sweets. So
Okay. Does he want to stop anywhere on the way to the boat, or is he just gonna go and apply for the job?
Do I have the opportunity to whip something up as a perhaps interview sort of a deal? Like make something real quick on the fly, a delicious little dessert, and be like, look, I made this. I can make more things for you.
Possibly. I think actually a lot of the time with cooking positions, especially if something specialized like that, they tend to just like bring you into their kitchen and be like, okay, here are some ingredients, make us stuff as a demonstration within their facility. Because otherwise they don't know if you personally made that, if you bought it off a street vendor. They want to make certain that you haven't accidentally poisoned them. There's a lot of things.
Gotcha. Okay, then yeah. I'll just roll up on him. A big fucking man in a scary black outfit is like, I would like to make desserts.
All right. As you walk up to where New Beginnings is docked, you see people kind of bustling in and off real quick, carrying things back and forth. Some people like yelling, not really screaming, but in a firm, like, get a fucking move on kind of voice. Sitting at like the very base of the ramp on and off the boat is kind of just like a little covered, kind of like if it was like in the market square, it'd be like a fruit stand, but it's been deconstructed to just kind of be a dude with like a whole bunch of books around it, and is obviously the person that Ezekiel was talking about to talk to about jobs. How do you approach?
Deep breath. Step up. I hear you need cooks.
Guy kind of looks up at you, nods, and goes, "We are looking for cooks. You do anything specific, or are you just like a dishwasher? What's up with you?"
Dessert.
Dessert. To his credit, he keeps a pretty straight face, and he's like, "Well, not a lot of patisseries in this area. Next time one of the food, we got a lot of people putting food on and off the boat. Next time one of them runs by, I'll take you to have you take him to Rum. That'll be the quickest way to get you in and out. And we're kind of short staffed, so having the big man's approval is probably the fastest way." And he kind of like waits, and he's kind of like just watching with his finger. People go back and forth, and he goes, "All right, that person in the white." He kind of like looks uncomfortable, like he doesn't want to yell, but he's gonna yell, and he doesn't want to yell, but you know, job's a job. And he goes, "Hey, Fern." The guy like stumbles a little bit. He's carrying like a crate of potatoes. He's like, "What?" He looks like he's about to lose his ever-loving marbles. There's just sweat dripping down his face. He's like, "I got shit to do." And he's like, "Fern, just take this guy to Rum."
Baby.
Mm-hmm.
No, I was just musing on my time as a banquet server. Big events like this.
Okay. Sorry, I was talking and I could not hear you, and I was like, I don't want to miss the funny. Anyways, so Fern comes over and is like, what? And he's like, "I want you to take this guy to Rum. He's gonna see if he can, I don't know, cook pies. I don't know what you guys make, man. I just do the books." And Fern kind of looks you up and down. He's just like a surprisingly short orc, and he just kind of goes, "All right, follow me," and leads you on the way to the boat.
Nary a word. I just follow.
All right. The boat is the ramp takes you all the way up to the top floor. It's decently steep. The boat, like the map showed to you, the very rough map that was shown to you by Ezekiel, is 3 floors. Top floor is pretty open, it looks like, 2 major constructions on the side and a large open deck. And he kind of wiggles his finger at you. He goes, "All right, follow me." The kitchen's like in the it's in the middle floor, and then we take food through different stairways that are like hidden in the sides to the different groups depending on who you're cooking for. But the main kitchen's on the middle floor. I'll take you to Rum, tell him why you're here, and then I gotta get back to work. I'm sure you understand. He doesn't even wait for you to respond. Do you follow him?
I do, but as I am doing so, can I like roll perception to kind of get a like I've seen the map, but to get a like actual like 3D visualization of like where entrances and exits are and stuff. Just as I follow.
Absolutely.
I literally said to my wife, "It's gonna be so bad," and it fucking was. I don't know shit or fuck. I'm just trying to follow this tiny man.
All right, I'm gonna give you your proficiency bonus on that because you are good with boats. So I'm just gonna assume that you have a basic understanding of how boats work to some extent. That way you don't get no information for something that your character should realistically have some information on.
Fun
Not
fact.
his fault, it's me.
Actually, perception paired with water vehicles to notice the intricacies of boat and building stuff is actually a corresponding tool proficiency. He could actually get advantage, I believe.
Okay, roll advantage on that. If you just hover over that number, it'll give you. Much better. All right. Biddy is on.
Better, yeah.
Yeah. Biddy is on high alert. He's like, okay. He notices several things right off the bat. Just like Ezekiel said, there are no windows on the bottom floor. In fact, the bottom floor almost seems to disappear into the water. It's low enough down, the boat's heavy enough, it's being pushed underneath. The middle floor does seem to have some balconies on some rooms, but not a lot. Most of it's just your typical straight, nice houseboat-esque kind of windows out to the front. The top floor seems to be split into 2 separate groups. You can hear the sounds of cards shuffling through the open doorways of one area. You can smell the start of food coming from the other, but it doesn't smell like it's actually cooking from there. It does just kind of seem to be the smell of food, which matches the idea that the kitchen itself is not on this floor. There's no smell of grease or baking or anything like that. There seems to be the majority of the upwards and downward movement seem to be on the far end away from the bow of the boat, not the bow, the helm of the boat, which is just a circular area with a whole bunch of windows that makes the most sense for the helm to be at, where everybody is steering the boat. It seems to be a set of stairways on the opposite end. 2 large sets, if it's balanced from the angle that you're staring at. And as you walk around the boat, you can see that it is 2 steps. 2 giant staircases going up and down the back of this behemoth of a boat. This is probably a little bit larger than most riverboats that you would probably see. It's not the largest, but you get much bigger than this, and you're going to have difficulty in the average depth of a river to even swim on it because it would be too deep at that point. Fern did mention that there are other stairways, and you can kind of, as you're looking around, see people kind of like popping out of places that it doesn't make sense for them to pop out of, back ends of where the food smell is coming from, so on and so forth. And there doesn't seem to be a door directly into the helm, so it's probably attached to the room that's right next to it, the gambling room. Are you looking for
magic spy pieces, right? Magic like earpieces.
Yes, you do.
Yes.
Okay, I want to relay all this to my homies after I am by myself, so that they all also have a lay of the land.
Okay, sounds good. Are you following him downstairs?
Yes, I'm following him to wherever he's taking me, kitchen-wise.
Okay. As you follow him down the stairs, you kind of see that the stair set that you went down just opens up into a big giant hallway. And from the map that you saw earlier, you figure this is one of the hallways that the bedrooms are off of. The other stairway, you assume, probably leads into the other hallway, but you don't have any real way of telling from where you're standing right now. And as you look down, there's not really a middle place to look through. It does look like some of the windows from the outside connect up to the hall. So there are exits that aren't through the doorways or through other people's rooms. Should you need to leave immediately, there are windows attached to the outside of the building and easy access. He carries you kind of like to the back and through these back double doors into what is immediately the smell of a kitchen. It kind of wraps around in like a horseshoe shape, and you can kind of hear the motor of the riverboat starting up and getting ready. And you figure that that's probably where the mechanical parts are, the big giant wheel that's going to actually push the boat, and the kitchen kind of flows around it. And it seems like it's set up a pretty good space for everything to kind of like be sectioned off into different areas and different specialties. When you were walking into the room, you did notice there was 2 other double sets of doors with the universal symbol for "come pee here" on it. So you assume they're probably bathrooms.
Good to know, good to know.
Are you looking for anything else?
No, just wanted to get the lay of the land, entrances and exits, and that is what I got, so appreciated.
All right. As you walk in, there is someone who's very obviously in charge. You assume it's Rum, considering everything you've been told, and it does match the short description that was given to you after Ezekiel was very rushedly trying to fucking cover things. Rum is about 4'11", very lanky, long-featured, russet brown hair, ivory skin, dark, big brown eyes. When he talks, his teeth are a little sharpened, especially at the incisors. And he has, the typical slightly smushed nose that comes with shifters, though perhaps not as very obvious as something with what would probably have a longer snout, but it's still there. And he does seem to kind of a little bounce a little bit as he walks around looking from place to place. He doesn't seem to be yelling, but it is definitely the firm voice of somebody who is in charge. Fern puts the potato crate down on a side table and leads you over with like a little hand wave from behind him. He goes, Rum. Rum turns and looks at you. He has a surprisingly deep voice for a man who's 4'11". And I apologize, I'm going to butcher it.
I'm waiting, Carissa. Hit me.
I'm so sorry.
Everyone's just like quietly waiting for this. Like,
I'm more interested because I thought this was a person I was voicing, but if you want to take this, because I can't fathom they're going to be in the. Yeah, it's literally on the side here. I was waiting.
I did miss it. Never mind.
If
Lindsay
you
gets to
want
pick
to
this
do
person's
it,
voice.
No, Carissa needs to deliver at least one line.
At least one.
Set it up now. She has to commit.
Shot myself in the fucking foot.
I was waiting.
You were trying. I appreciate your trying, Lindsay. So Rum kind of looks me up and down and goes, "Oh, I can't speak deeply when I'm laughing. Well, that's an interesting person," he says, looking Benny up and down. "I'm not quite sure what job were you looking for?"
I hear you need people to make dessert.
Hmm.
I'm saying this with the gravitas of like the guy from Taken, like Liam Neeson in Taken. That's the aura I'm fucking bringing to this fucking job right now. I'm a man with very special skills.
Lindsay, do you want me to keep doing it and you can just take over the boatman?
I was actually yeah, we'll just swap these. It's okay. You go.
Are you sure? Did you want the chef?
No, I can definitely do the boatman. I have
Okay.
I can equally have fun as the boatman as I could the chef. I just assumed we defaulted me to the chef because I have John as a reference point.
Oh, that was it. Yep, Lindsay's taking over the chef.
Oh, god damn it.
Works for me, baby.
Why do I have to remind you of your reasoning for things sometimes?
Because I have 3 brain cells and they're all panicking at the fact that for whatever reason, I've forgotten how to deepen my voice.
All right. Okay.
It's the stress.
It
Well,
is.
likewise, I'll give you guys a heads up. I sing soprano, so give me a minute.
And with that, Rum's voice breaks and goes into a high pitch.
Shut up. No, I can still do it. I
Like,
just wanted to give them the same
the whole time.
I just wanted to give you the same preface that Carissa did, that I don't do deep voice very well, but just heads up. All right. Wait. Okay, sorry. We were off track for so long. Remind me
like you're
what
talking to a person that you are not interested in at all, and you want them to go away. Like, talk like this. Like, they're driving
That's true.
you crazy.
That is fair. I will attempt this. All right, but first, please remind me of what Benny just said.
Again, with all the gravitas of Liam Neeson and Taken, I hear you need someone to make dessert.
Well, yes, we obviously need most things filled. Unfortunately, it's not something I can generally give a quick insight, a quick demonstration for. Those tend to take quite a bit of time to prepare and cook. But actually, are you familiar with the elvish tradition of pastry where they fry it in oil to cook it rapidly? Read
Yes.
donuts.
I know, that's what you missed it. I stared off into the middle distance, and I feel like Benny did too for just a second, but yes.
All right. Well, we've got the fryers heated up already. If you can make something along those lines and a whipped cream, that should be a quick enough a demonstration. Sorry, like I said, that's not something. But then again, if you've come this early, works well enough because if you do have the chops for it, we could get you set on this right away.
Okay, so I'm just gonna roll a d20 plus proficiency and fuck it up real bad.
You get 2 shots because I told you whipped cream and pastry.
Okay. Oh boy. Everyone pray for me. Someone blow on my dice. Thank you, baby. Okay, so if I type it 1d20 plus 2, should it just give me a plus 2 to my roll, question mark?
It's like /roll 1d20 plus 2, I believe. You can also press the d20 at the bottom and then the plus symbol at the bottom twice to get your plus 2 and then roll.
I see now. I see now. Okay, give me 1 second, please. I got it. Okay, here's hoping. Please, Lord. Please, baby Jesus. I've never needed to roll better. Oh, you fucking piece.
That was 1.
That was not so hot. That's a D12, you idiot.
Do it again.
Please roll good. Oh no, what am I doing? I'm hitting so many buttons. Oh, Jesus Christ.
All right.
This poor man. Okay, my whipped cream was worse. My donuts were better.
Yeah, I was gonna say your donuts seem to have come out well, and or like with like that they aren't like super amazing. They aren't terrible. They are within reason. And then your whipped cream, a little runny. It came apart really quick. You probably needed to let it. I'm thinking spin because I'm thinking of a KitchenAid mixer. But since you're doing it by hand, you needed to be a little whisking it a bit more fiercely.
I was trying to overcompensate for my strong arms.
I'm trying to make it less obvious.
All right. So he's looking at this in how you have plated it and whatnot. It's like, he's going to take it up. I'm going to give it a bite. All right. Well, whipped cream could use work, but the pastry turned out all right, and frankly, I can't imagine I'm going to find too many pâtissiers around this quickly. Yeah, sure, you're hired. Can you start now, or do you need some time to get your stuff off land?
I can start right now.
All right. And I assume Fern has already gone off. So he's gonna turn and be like, "Oi, Brent!" And then what you calls it? Shoot, I don't know who would have a Brent. I'm just going to go with like a human as a default because I don't know what kind of like name Brent it. I was gonna say Shalar, and I'm like, no, they have very specific naming conventions. Shoot.
They do.
Okay, so we're just gonna go
It's like
with
the worst one to pick to randomly name.
I'm sorry. Anyway, but yes, so we're just gonna go with a human, a human fellow like pops his. It's like, yes, chef. It's like, show this fellow around the kitchen. He's going to be our pâtissier. It's like, yes, chef. And do you need me to narrate further demonstrations of the kitchen, or can we move on? Cool.
Good. Unless you have any questions that Benny needs to know information about, or is he just good to go?
He's going in on dessert. He's going in,
Alright.
baby. He's probably got to get started because there's going to be a lot of people. So,
especially because a lot of the times, like, you tend to get like cake slices and things, if I'm familiar with like how banquets and parties go. So usually you have to have like a bunch of cakes prepared ahead of time that you then slice as the night goes on and everything. It's a to-do. You might also have tarts, I assume. Would tarts be a thing? Anyway, my point is all that stuff takes. Yeah, tarts would probably be good things, little finger foods.
I can make tarts, I can make candy, I can make anything. Also, I'm crying at that meme. I'm crying in real life, actually.
There's a
meme.
I missed a meme.
If you want,
like the most low effort meme I've ever made.
Oh my god!
If Benny wants to, I would say he could probably roll real quick to see if he can convince the chef to cook what he specializes in.
I mean, do all these people want candy?
I mean, they might want it more than runny whipped cream.
Hey, fuck you. My whipped cream is not my like specialty area. I'm way better at donuts. I think I'm gonna just roll with what they want. I'm trying to be as low, like I already know I stand out, so I'm trying to not stand out as much as possible.
And I was criticized for this.
For standing out?
For everything. When I was handed the dressing down of the century by Ezekiel with no chance to defend myself.
Maybe you shouldn't have run off the mouth at Ezekiel for a good paragraph and a half. Benny's quiet.
Witty banter.
I'm not saying I didn't like it. I'm just saying you walked into it.
I will say one last thing that Rum is going to holler at Bren. It's like, also see if we've got a coat in his size. Check the back. I think we might have one. Because Benny is huge.
True.
Yeah, go Benny.
And with that, Bren kind of leads Benny to a back room where a whole bunch of coats are kind of hanging up, and he looks at Benny and goes, I'll be perfectly honest, I know Rum said to give you a coat. Just find a coat that fits you, because you are huge. And he leaves you in the coat room by yourself.
Oh no.
And with that, we're gonna move to somebody else. We'll cycle back. Once we get through a round, you can decide what you did with that time period. All right. So Benny has been gone for a hot minute. Little do you know, he's been making donuts. So the second person to head out will be Shava.
I sigh and decide to go clothes shopping.
All right.
Because
The town
I
isn't
need to look presentable.
the town isn't super big, but you did see a couple clothing stores when you were out shopping earlier. So you kind of know the general area of what you want to be. As you hit the market district, there is a handful of boutiques and such, one of which has some rather fitted dresses up in the window. Nothing too scanty, but definitely meant to show off.
May I describe the dress I see?
Absolutely.
Oh, wonderful. It is the blue of the night sky.
Okay.
And down it has maybe diamonds, maybe some other kind of gem, maybe glass beads. I don't really know, but it makes it twinkle like stars.
Okay.
It's kind of one of those low shoulder dresses. So it's not like scandalous, but it's very pretty. And the sleeves and it has sheer sleeves that kind of dangle down. And that's totally Shava's style.
All right. So drawn in by the very right up Shava's alley dress in the window, I'm assuming she goes inside.
Yes.
All right.
Snaps
As you
for
go,
this fit. Also, it's cool.
I'm sorry.
I said snaps for this fit. It's cool. It looks
It is
good.
cool. It is cool. So as Shava comes in to the store, it's very obviously a upscale boutique. And I would like you, Shava, before you head into the building, to roll a perception check for me.
Okie dokie.
So you kind of noticed as you are walking in the building out of the corner of your eye, you see someone that you've already seen a photo of. It's Nabora. Barrett's lawyer has been following you ever since you left Dran's place. And as you enter into the boutique, you see her coming around the corner. She doesn't seem much of a rush, but you two make eye contact, and it is very obvious that she is going to be following you into the store. As you enter the store, like I said, it's a much more upscale boutique than you probably would have expected for this city. It kind of shows off the fact that this is kind of a pit stop here and there for the boats that are the luxury boats, because the town itself is not big enough to afford something of this size. As you walk in, one of the people that is kind of perusing with the customers turns and looks at you. There's a slight moment of like a raised eyebrow, but it immediately goes away. With adventuring being lucrative, you never know what people are actually going to be dressed like that have money. And the woman, who appears to be an elf, it's hard to tell. Her ears are just ever so slightly pointed, and her hair is just ever so slightly not a human color, but who knows? It could just be hair dye or gnomish heritage from several generations down. Kind of walks up to you and is like, "Hello, how may I help you?"
Hi, I saw that gorgeous dress in the window, the one that looks like the night. May I try it on?
Kind of thinks for a minute, and she's like, "You know what? Sure. No one's actually asked about that for a while, so I think it would be nice to actually see it on someone, and it does look like it would fit you quite well." So she mentions over to somebody else who comes over and helps her take it off the mannequin in the front, and they start, they kind of lead you over to a dressing room. Would you like help getting it on? It is rather voluminous.
I'll put it on and you can tighten it up once I get it over.
All right. So she hangs it up in the dressing room with you, kind of like on a hanger, and closes the dressing room curtain behind you. The curtain is very thick. It's fully closed on the edges, but it is very much a curtain, not a door. And as that's going on, you can hear the sound of the bell opening for the front door.
I'm gonna go and try the dress on.
All right. Let's see. It takes a couple minutes to kind of get it on. It's a lot of fabric, beautiful fabric, but a lot of fabric, and you don't want to, snag the gemstones on each other. As you back open the curtain, it seems that most people have cleared out. Sitting in kind of the way that somebody who was trying on a bridal gown and going to show it to their maids of honor is a woman, Nabora, with her luscious, long, curly hair falling around her, sitting in a seat staring directly at you as you come out of the dressing room. She goes, "Well, that's quite stunning," she says. What exactly are you planning on wearing that for?" As you look around, you realize that there's not anybody left in the shop except for the people who obviously work there.
I'm just gonna tell the truth.
Okay.
I was planning on getting a job on the ship
On the
that's going out.
ship.
Yeah, the one that's going out today. I could use a little something to take up some time.
Nabora reaches into her clothing. Nabora is, well, frankly, the photo didn't really do her justice. The photo kind of had like a whole bunch of hair in it, and it seemed rather unruly, but Nabora herself is a very, very well put together woman. She's very dark of skin, perfectly curled hair, naturally curly hair. She's average of height and honestly quite average of appearance. However, her jewelry is immaculate and simple. She seems very calm and serene and confident in what she's doing, and for some reason that makes her look a lot more attractive than she probably should. She goes, "Well, if you're looking for a job, I feel like I have an offer for you."
Okay, let's hear it.
And
Like,
Nabora just
is
smiles and she
next, like across from her, or at in a chair near her.
and Nabora just smiles and kind of waves to one of the ladies, and they scurry off, and it's not quite sure what she's doing, but apparently she knows exactly what Nabora wants. And it's hard to say if it's because Nabora said something when she walked in, or if it's because these people are used to seeing her around. And she goes, "I recently got into contact with a family member of yours asking for a favor. Uh,
Okay.
if you would be willing to accompany my husband and I on a trip this evening, which I believe you are already trying to get upon, as you just said, I would be willing to help you, well, more so my husband, but that's not here nor there. Help you find out some information you might be interested in about why you even came to the Isles."
I give a big grin and think, thank God. Like, oh, I was hoping to meet you. And that's what I told her. Of course I'll accompany you.
And Nabora kind of nods and she goes, "Now, I think it should be very clear and upfront from the beginning that I am not a druid, nor is my husband. So our immediate help will only be a business transaction. But I feel like we can put you in the right direction at the very least, which is the best that your family member at this time could ask for. Um, but yes, um, as a sign of good faith, why don't I buy that dress for you?"
I look down at the dress, which I think looks lovely on me, and give her a smile and say, we have a deal. And thank you very much.
Nabor grins quite widely and goes, "Oh, don't thank me yet." And that is your scene.
Okay.
Um, out of character, uh, we'll talk some more on the side for obvious reasons.
Okay.
All right, we are up to Koki.
Yes.
So, Koki, are you going straight to the boat to look for a job? Or are you going somewhere else?
Hmm. No, I feel like I need all the time I can get with whatever dance crew if I happen to make it. So I'm gonna give my best pirouette, leaping, graceful bounces as I walk up to the dock.
All right. You're bouncing, if for no other reason than it is not the same hurried movements as everybody else on the dock, is Notice. The guy who helped Benny, not that you would know that at this time, is still sitting there, once still filling out paperwork as you bound up to him. Hello, how may I help you?
Hello. I happen to wonder if you would by any chance need any dancers for this boat that happens to be leaving tonight.
Hmm. He says, I do believe that some of our entertainers are indisposed currently. Unfortunately, we had a bit of an issue with a bug going around. I personally am not familiar with what position wears. It's all handled by the same manager. And he kind of looks around and kind of frowns. He's like, unfortunately, they normally don't come in and out of the boat, so it might take a minute for me to find somebody to lead you in the right direction. He kind of peers back and forth as people are coming out of the boat. And coming down out of the boat is a straight backed man of probably one of the most common types of shifters that you can see. He's very wolfy in appearance, very notable nose, sharp teeth, ears, paw-like legs. It's probably one of the most obvious races you've seen since being on this island for a while. What is very notable, however, is he is dressed immaculately clean cut in a suit with a ram's horn little pin on his shoulder. The man at the front dock waves him down and goes, "Hey, can you lead this person to Lior? I know that they're still looking for some people to help with entertainment, but I cannot for the life of me remember what they said they needed. They kind of rambled it off and left." And the shifter nods and goes, typical. And goes, all right, ma'am, if you would, or sir, if you would follow me, please. They say, and wave to see if you will follow them.
Yeah.
All right. They lead you onto the boat. Is there anything you would like to check for while you're being shown around, or
They lead me onto the boat?
onto the boat?
All right, so I would just like to keep an eye out for my surroundings and make a mental note of where I am going and how I could possibly get off. So maybe just look around and see where I could jump off onto, into, scurry into, whatever it may be if I need to.
Okay. I'm not going to repeat all of the same information that I
Yeah.
gave Benny because I feel like it's redundant at this point. And he's planning meta to give that to you eventually, so hopefully you'll have that information in character very well soon. If something happens in this roleplay that leads it so you need to know that information, we'll have you roll to figure out how much of that information you personally have immediately.
Cool.
But you actually don't get led downstairs. You get led straight into the room at the top that smells like food. And in that room, all of the tables are still kind of pushed up against the wall. There's people running around. There seems to be a buffet being set up, but there is Lior standing there. They're 5'11", an Aarakocra of the Osprey variety. They're talking in a quiet tone and seem to not have too much of a heavy Aarakocra accent, as if they have kind of worked their way out of it. They're kind of directing people into groups and so on and so forth. There seems to be a handful of people doing a routine to somebody beside Lior clapping slowly for a beat. It's kind of hard to tell with Aarakocra, if you're not around them very often, what kind of expression that they're having. Lior does not seem impressed, however. The guard kind of walks you up, gives you a slight bow, and introduces you to Lior and goes, "This is the manager of our entertainment. I will be taking my leave." And then proceeds to, without even waiting for Lior's acknowledgement, Lior seems mildly miffed by this. Immediately walks back and then goes straight back to where they were, walking down back onto the dock. Lior stops, looks you up and down, and goes, did the dockmaster send you here, or did one of Barrett's men send you here?"
Oh, neither really. I just have a little bit of a dancing background, and I needed something to do, and I heard that there was a ship coming on, and I knew it was too late for me to get a ticket, so I just figured if you guys needed dancers, I'd be more than happy to join your crew in exchange for just being on this boat.
Lior kind of looks you up and down and goes, "Well, you definitely have the muscles for it. If you would, she just kind of looks at the people who are currently performing to the clapping, kind of dragging her attention back to them. Yes, we will need some assistance, unfortunately." One of them like trips and falls, and she goes, "I hate it when people get sick." Anyways, and from like her voluminous robes that are surprisingly large for somebody who's judging dancers, but here we are. She pulls out a slip of paper and kind of hands it to you, and on it is just a list of like different moves, twists, turns to be put to a beat at a specific time. She goes, "All right, I will show this to you twice. I will give you a few minutes to think about it, to stretch, and then I would like you to try to perform it to the best of your ability."
Sounds good.
She raises her hand and shoos off the people that are practicing without saying anything, which greatly confuses them, and they kind of stumble out of the way. She takes off the outer layer of her voluminous coat and is just in basic kind of like legging-esque kind of things that seem to be wrapping underneath her little avian hooked feet, and a very simple like tunic vest. She makes another hand gesture, the beat starts back up, and she proceeds to show you, without missing a fucking beat, this entire thing. It is not terribly hard, but it is a lot of twirling. Which, not everybody's taste, but she manages to make it look decently elegant. There's a pause, the end of it, and without even waiting for any reciprocity from Koki, she does it another time. Once it is done, she is not at all out of breath. And she walks up to Koki. "Do you feel like you would be able to perform that well enough with a couple stretches?"
I think so.
All right. So we're going to let Koki do a couple stretches, and then if you could, I would like you to give me 3 Unfortunately, Koki does not have performance. So why don't you go ahead and give me a performance roll, a dex roll. Sorry, a performance roll, an acrobatics roll, and let's do persuasion roll.
Okay, so performance.
How well you can cover up whatever you.
Oh dear.
Oh Lord.
All right. So. Oh no!
It's
no!
okay.
Oh no!
Oh boy.
You said persuasion.
Yep.
Yep.
Better be high.
So you can
Second
kind of
chances
see.
are a thing.
So you can kind of see around the neck of Lior's tunic is just the ruffles coming out as she's just utterly unimpressed.
Wait. Like, I kind of stumbled. I don't think I was very well warmed up. Let me just start from the beginning.
And she goes, all right, one more chance. Try again.
All right. So hold on. What was it? Performance?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Please, dear God.
And then acrobatics.
Slightly
and then
better.
Oh no, bud.
Oh,
Oh my god!
Oh.
that was so close.
And persuasion.
Persuasion.
Come on, persuasion. All right, I'm a little better.
Lior is kind of
Being
just
nat 20, I was like,
rubbing her eyes. And she's like, listen, you have gumption, but you don't, at least at this moment, have skill. I would not be comfortable putting you in front of the kind of crowd we plan on having tonight. However, I do know some other positions that would need a little bit of confidence to perform, she says, looking rather uncomfortable.
If you can call it performance.
She's like, all right, I can kind of see on you that you possibly work with chemicals. She says, kind of pointing to like the alchemy kit that is still kind of strapped to you.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any experience with alcohol?
Just a little bit of bartending back in the day, but yeah, it wasn't for a very long time.
If I were to pair you up with an experienced bartender, do you think you could accurately put together drinks and be charismatic to the patrons?
Charismatic is a 100%. And I will do my absolute best. And I always succeed when I try.
She kind of pauses for a moment and she goes,
I love you, Cookie.
you do try. Let me show you to our lead bartender and they'll get you situated. I do believe that you genuinely want to work and I do think you will work hard. So she leads you to the bartender. Bartender is a Shalaran behind the counter whose name tag literally just says Wiz. That's nothing else. That is not a Shalaran name, but this man is very obviously a Shalaran. Like, and he goes, "Hey, high five! Another Shalaran.
What's up, Shalaran, brother?
I got this, Lior. It's fine. I was watching. I was watching. It was a good time." Anyways, and Lior just kind of like rolls her eyes, like she's just so done with everybody here, and walks away. Wiz kind of looks Koki up and down and goes, "You look like you know what you're doing, or at least you know what you want to do. Am I right?"
Definitely what I want to do. Sometimes the hands just need some time to catch up.
All right, we are expecting a large crowd tonight. We have a couple signature drinks that we have lined up. Why don't I go over those with you so you can make those lickety split? And then we'll go over some basic etiquette, some cleaning rules, and some fancy flip flips to impress those customers and get you some tips. So when we get back to port, you can have some money in your pocket. Sound good?
That sounds like a great plan to me.
Wiz goes, fantastic. I love it when people are enthusiastic. One rule, don't get shit faced on the job. Other than that, you can do whatever you want as long as you don't tick people off. All right. Anyways, the drinks. First, we have the purple nurple, and that's the end of your scene.
Love ending on purple nurple.
All right. Back at Dran's place, we have Farida and Ray still sitting at the room. Ezekiel is kind of looking back and forth between the two of you and goes, all right, is there any questions that you would like answered about the auction or the clientele that you're supposed to be blending into, or why you even have these tickets that you would like to work out now with me before I leave?
Silence.
Is there anything you think I should know?
All right. So these tickets were given me, and 2 other tickets were given to the guild in order to have people come to this to kind of ease over the idea that Barrett never involves the guild. By involving the guild, Barrett kind of puts himself out in the open and it avoids some of the accusations he sometimes gets about being a little too under the table. It is pretty well known, though, that the people who often end up here don't ask a lot of questions. You would need to be representing someone or representing yourselves looking for very specific items for a craft. You guys can choose whatever craft you want. I would suggest choosing something you've already got a skill in and be looking for that. He points back to the
Out of
table.
game, do I
Yes.
have a skill in any craft?
You I know you have
I think we
flute,
were initially
bagpipes.
I think we initially wanted all of you to have proficiency in at least one craft or kit. I don't know if you ever actually picked one.
I have proficiencies in lute, bagpipes, water vehicle, and pan flute.
Okay, I don't think you actually picked a crafting one then. But hey, there is a boat on the docket, so water vehicles is within reason.
Am I buying the boat?
You could be buying the boat.
Do I have the money to buy the boat? There's no way I do, right?
They're not going to give you enough money to buy the boat.
But
Can
also
can you tell me what I should Google to find out what I should have crafting in?
It's actually would have been something that you pick. It's not something that would have been given by your class, and that's just because we wanted each of you to have the option to craft stuff, because this game we wanted crafting to be a focus. So actually, as far as I'm aware, nothing from your background or your class would normally give you a tool proficiency. We just want you to have one. But if you're asking for a list of tools, I can definitely get that to you as soon as I finish typing this first thing. So give me a moment here.
Okay.
So we'll send you a list of tools. You can pick that off. Even if you can't afford the boat, just the information and knowledge alone of who's selling the boat, who made the boat, who else wants to buy the boat would be very interesting for anybody in the boat market. Marketing, if you would. This event is very much just as much for the knowledge of what's going on as it is for actually buying things.
Okay, so I can be a boat enthusiast?
Yeah. Like if you could be working with somebody who wants to make boats and wants to look at what's coming out on the market. You could be looking at competition. You could be looking at what's the new and brightest thing before you buy your own boat, but you're not buying a boat yet. Like there's options.
Okay.
Ezekiel kind of just looks at Ray, who I'm assuming is still being very quiet, and is just like,
He's pouting.
And Ezekiel is just kind of nods. And he goes, all right, with that, I'm going to head out. I have my own things I need to prepare.
He doesn't say this out loud, but he is thinking to himself like, wow, a craftsman. If only there was someone in this group who'd been spending at least the last 6 or 7 years of his life traveling across the world, perfecting his craft. But what do I know? He hates that man.
I feel like Ray hates anybody who gets sassy with him.
He's a cat.
Valid.
Speaking of hatred.
That's the default. You have to work your way up from there. Oh, no. All right. So with that, Ezekiel is like later people whose names I don't know and leaves. Is there anything you guys want to get set up beforehand? Do you guys want to change your clothes, look for better clothes? Do you want to talk amongst yourselves to kind of get a plan? Um, on your tickets that Ezekiel gave you before he left is your room numbers. You guys are sharing a room.
I am going shopping, yes.
When are we heading to the boat?
I think didn't we just say 3:30 is the docking time, Lindsay?
Yes, that is when they are at the I forget if that's whenever I think that's when they start like boarding in earnest and then they're going to take off like shortly after. Or did we say they were taking off at 3:30? I want to say it was starting boarding at 3:30.
Let's say starting boarding because they're running behind anyways.
That's fair.
All right. So starting boarding onto the ship is at 3:30. It's going to undock and start heading down at, let's say, 5. And then I think dinner was at 6 is what we ended up deciding.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll have like an hour and a half period to get in and get situated. You can gamble or do whatever you want in that time period before dinner.
Okay, noted. Thank you.
You're right. All right, Farida, you said you wanted to go shopping.
Yes, I want to be 100% tourist.
All right. Have you spent any time in the market? I can't remember.
I don't think she did.
I do not.
Okay. So, do you want to just go looking or do you want to ask Dran? How do you want to go find this stuff?
I'm just gonna go. We're just gonna figure it out.
All right. So I think we decided, isn't the Merchants Guild pretty close to the market, Lindsay? Wasn't that what we decided? Isn't it like right next to it?
It's like right up. Basically, the only thing between the guild and the main market area is the rest of the harbor.
Okay. So you're pretty easily, like even just coming out of the building, you kind of see where the main market is. That would probably be your best place to start. Do you want to start over there?
Yeah.
Okay. The market is decently sized.
Oh, wow.
Lindsay, if you would like, I think it's right here.
Yeah, it's like this section. I think I also actually had this section. Oh, hang on, moving my thing. This section up here in Hightown being like a secondary shopping / like restaurant area, but that's like really bougie expensive stuff. But this also works if we just wanted that. This was like the original market area. Yeah.
If you're looking for touristy stuff, I would suggest the place next to the docks.
Yeah.
Agreed. So as you get into the
market, I'll go by the dock.
Okay. So as you're entering the market, it's pretty typical. There's a couple boutiques off of the side, one of which has some very fancy dresses and an empty mannequin in the front. But that seems a little bit more stylish than your current Expade. There's a couple with tailored suits, some more with some armor. But what you're probably looking for is just a stall. And in that stall is just some of the most garish tunics you've ever seen in your life. It's like
Beautiful.
4 panels of what you think is supposed to be phoenix feathers in like one pattern, and like another one looks like it's like palm leaves, and then there's one that's like purple and orange, and you think it's supposed to be a repeating checker pattern, but like there's like lace around the checkers. Like they're all seem to be pretty well made, but the patterns are very questionable. And sitting behind that is a small tabaxi woman that just is kind of like bouncing up and down, having a good time.
Fantastic. I must enter this stall instantly. These are the best shirts I've ever heard of.
Like,
Okay.
mood. Tabaxi see other tabaxi, and they're like,
So, the tabaxi woman is like, "Do you see anything you like?"
Oh,
kinda
I
like,
love them all. I like the.
"Oh,
How do you feel about the palm one? The palm leaf? That feels fantastic.
I feel like the palm leaves would be fantastic against your cyan scales," she says. The green and
I thought I
teal
was
just go
cyan.
beautiful. What?
I thought I was blue.
Oh, are you just blue? My bad.
No, I am cyan. I just thought.
Yeah, sorry. I was going to say, I'm like, wait, did I write this down wrong? I swear to God, I remember cyan being on the list of things.
I vaguely
Okay.
remember, like, I thought your scales were cyan, and then, like, your horns were, like, a darker blue.
Yes, we
Okay,
cheated
cool.
because I wanted the lightning, but I wanted a different color, and so you're like, it's close enough.
Neon.
I mean, yeah, because the question is cyan a blue or a green? In the book, it's classified as green, or at least we initially classified it as green, but it's just as much blue.
It's blue enough. It's
It's
the horns
blue
that tips
enough.
it over.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I think the purple and orange against the blue is a lot, but I don't even remember what color the palm leaves were. I just heard palm leaf, and then I was like, perfect.
They're like just like a true green, like the leaves themselves. And they're kind of like on that weird, like dark black blue background that kind of makes them look a little fake as they pop up. When you lean really close to it, you can see that she somehow hand embroidered in tiny little veins onto each of the leaves.
Oh my god! So this is a really well made ugly shirt.
It is absolutely garish, but it is immaculately made.
I have to ask, how much is the palm leaf shirt?
She goes, "Oh, well, you know, it's she kind of just like shimmies a little bit in her seat behind the counter, and she's like, "Well, you know, you do seem to like it quite a bit. So I would be are you just interested in the vest, or were you looking for an entire outfit?"
There can be a whole outfit?
Yes. And she kind of looks extremely excited, and you kind of like see her tail like waving back and forth behind her, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, can I dress you up? I'll give you a discount."
Absolutely.
Oh my god, yes. And so she's ecstatic. She's like, "Oh my god, yes." And so she like immediately like pulls out the fucking she
Katie
pulls
is
down the one
buying
with the palm
an
leaves on it
entire
and like
outfit
throws
of
it
the
across
most
the top. She's like, "All right,
garish
so
touristy
you're
outfit
cyan,
known
and
to
this
man
is mostly green. It's got a blue
for her
base, but it's mostly
incognito
green. Let's be
onto the
real here.
boat."
Nobody who Most people don't have taste and would know the difference. Anyways, um your boots are great. I do love them. And let's be real here, finding boots that actually fit Dragonborn is a bit of a hassle. I get it. I don't have normal feet either. But unfortunately, I also don't specialize in making the kind of shoes that would fit for you. So I would suggest us trying to build everything off of your shoes and the vest. How do you feel about that?
I completely agree. Finding these shoes again would take so much time.
Oh, fantastic. And she's just so excited. And he's like, it's a question of where the stuff even comes from. She just starts pulling crates out from behind the stand, and there's just stuff and stuff and stuff and stuff. And you see like rolls of cloth and little needles with threads attached to them everywhere. And she's like, "Also, how tall are you?"
What am I, like 6'8"?
Something ridiculous.
I'm like really tall.
And she goes, okay. So are you wanting to look long and lean, or are you wanting like a mid-calf vibe?
I don't know what mid-calf vibe means.
Where do you want the vest to end?
Oh, higher than the calf.
Okay. Are you wanting it like tucked into your belt?
Yes, I would do that.
Oh, okay. Fantastic. In that case, I'll just hem it a little bit. She starts pulling stuff out. There's a needle that looks way too thick to be going in this fabric, but it's there and it's like wedged into the wood now, and she is on it. It has very delicate green thread coming out of the tail end of it, and it matches what you're actually wanting to buy. So where the fuck she pulled this from is who knows? And the more she pulls out from underneath, you begin to wonder if she's got bags of holding or something under there, because it is Mary Poppins bag happening right now.
Okay.
After a while, she also pulls out a pair of slacks that is yellow, but like a rich gold toned yellow.
Fantastic.
And you kind of look after a second, and it kind of reminds you actually a little bit of your character's eyes. Your eyes are a little bit warmer, but it's close. It's gonna make them pop. She slaps down a couple pieces of jewelry on it, one of which is obviously made for horns, and it has a little leaf dangling off of it. She pulls out a pair of glasses, but unlike, regular people glasses, they've got chains on the end to wrap around horns or whatever they made to keep them secure, and they're a little tinted and just a little dark around the edges, kind of help keep the sun out of your eyes. And she just lays it all out, and it is bizarre. It is leaf themed. It's all greens, golds, and blues, and it's high quality. It should work, but it is some of the most garish patterns you've ever seen. As you look at the yellow leggings, there seems to be like a little water ripple pattern slightly embroidered into them. And she goes, "What do you think?"
I love this. I love
Oh my
all of
God.
it. The leaf jewelry is fantastic. The fact that it all ties together like that.
Oh, fantastic. Oh, fantastic. She just looks pleased as fucking punch. And she's like, may I ask what the occasion is?
A 3? Betty, what are you doing? Attacking my good friend.
Not attacking anything in the kitchen or in the scene. The cat stepped on my keyboard. I'm so sorry. I like how Benny just pops off with attacks sometimes. No, that was truly not me.
Oh, the occasion is I won a ticket to go on the boat, and I just needed to dress up for it.
Oh. Well, in that case, I'll give you a discount as long as you tell people where you got your stuff. Deal?
For sure. What's the name of the store?
And she just kind of like preens a little bit, and she's like, it's Zetta's Draperies. Why it's Draperies? Who the fuck knows? But she says it with complete confidence.
It's what drapery?
Zetta's.
Okay.
Zeta.
Got it.
And she goes, all right, for everything I would like, and she kind of counts it up, and she goes, with the discount, and you buying it in bulk, and just the wonderful experience. How does 22 silver sound?
22 silver? What's the silver to gold ratio outside of game again?
100.
No,
It's
silver to
Is it 10?
No. It's 10 silver to a gold piece.
I thought it was 100.
No,
Okay.
it's definitely 10. They break it down into
will-
increments of 10.
I will 100% take your word for it.
All right. And you said 22?
Yes.
I'll throw her 3 gold and say keep the change.
She says, and then reaches underneath it and goes, in that case, and pulls out a container. And it looks like what maybe a necklace box would look like, except for it's wooden. And she goes, here, on the house.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Thank you. And I take it. And I'm so excited. I am grinning ear to ear in real life and in game.
She goes, you're welcome, darling. If you ever come by again, let me know how it goes, and then maybe we can pick out a different outfit for you.
Absolutely.
All right. And that, I believe, is everybody situated. How's everybody feeling? Anybody else?
Oh, wait. Did you ask Ray? Is Ray doing anything?
No, Ray's pouting. Ray, would
Oh.
you like to do anything?
We did not hear you.
Ray's fine.
Are you sure? Does Ray want to grab anything to show off?
He's gonna grab something on the boat. I'm sorry, I'm not feeling too good all of a sudden.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Well, it is pushing 9:30. If
Yeah,
you
we should
guys
probably.
Real quick before we go,
Okay.
I know I can fucking do this dance. So, as I'm learning
Cookie's arc.
how, so I'm learning how to make these drinks just randomly throughout the night. I am going to be trying these steps again.
Okay.
All right.
Kind of again.
Totally, we can fit that in.
Okay, so we're gonna do this. Fuck yes.
We will
Holy
fit that
shit.
in.
Hell yeah, Cookie.
Cookie
right.
will 100% be
acrobatic.
dancing away.
And there's
Oh.
the acrobatic.
No.
Hello?
No, Cookie, no.
The gun.
And then persuasion. Hold on. There we go.
Hey!
I stumbled through it, bitches, but I got it.
A nat 1 and then a dirty 20.
Oh my gosh.
Holy balls.
I love it. I
that is-
absolutely love it.
That is 100% going in the story next session. Oh my god.
Yeah, she's gonna come back and I'm gonna be twirling behind that bar, baby.
Oh
You're gonna
my
be
god.
so beautiful making these drinks. People are gonna be amazed by it.
Heck yeah, they are.
But
I
don't
just
try to do a
wanna
flip, I
say-
guess.
If I am approached by anyone dressed extremely gaudy, I'm gonna have to pretend like I do not know them.
Shava's over here trying to be refined arm candy, and Faraday's gonna be like, Shava!
I go, hey.
Y'all must be careful with those yellow pants. My character may wear that forever. I have no armor class basically anyways. Like, I would just be wearing yellow.
Oh
Got
no.
a fucking windbreaker.
I also need
Crocs.
to know what is in that box. What is in that necklace box? I have to know.
I would have opened it, but that's how the scene end goes.
All right. We will, at the beginning of next session, deal with the box.
Real quick, can I
yes.
see if I can find a chef's coat that fits me? Real quick, just like roll
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
Okay, what do you want me to roll?
Just roll a d20.
All right. For some reason I was hovering over intimidation. I'm gonna intimidate this closet. See if I
You do
find
that.
something that fits me.
You do
You
that.
intimidate those inanimate objects.
Give me something that fits.
Oh,
Oh boy, it fits
Why
me
do
real
you-
bad.
Why do you ask to roll for these things?
Because I want to be true to the spirit of the game, but the universe doesn't.
I was gonna say, like, as
Can this manifest
Bren
as a
said,
jacket that's way too small for me?
I was gonna say, as Bren said, there was unlikely to be any jackets that fit you. You just do not fit.
I want one where like the sleeves are like literally almost to my elbows, and I pop
Yeah,
a
I was
button
gonna
by
say
accident.
that's the best you can do. So that's what I think is the safest option, is that you find one that you can just barely get squeezed around your like very like muscular torso, but the sleeves are like, you don't roll them. They are just like they're not even like short sleeves. They're like that weird like quarter sleeve thing. Like they just do not fit. You can maybe roll them once, but not enough that they're going to stay rolled. You know what I mean? You are just stuck with that really ill-fitted jacket.
I'll wear my really shitty chef's coat. It's fine. No problem.
While you are in the coat closet, do you relay the information to other people?
I do. I tell everyone everything that I learned about entrance, exits, pathways, etc., etc.
Okay. All right. So next session, we will deal with getting everybody on the boat, what's in the box, and we'll start off with Ray, as their interesting plot points probably won't start up until they're on the boat. So that seems like a very good place to start. Yeah. We'll give you.
I'm
We'll give
still
you
over
some.
here doing a little cha-cha behind the bar.
You are, and we are going to have a blast with that. That is going to be. It's going to be a good time. I've already got little wheels going in my head like a hamster. All right, so we'll do that, and we'll wrap up here tonight. Lindsay, if you would like to do the outro for the stream.
Yes, of course. Thank you to any and all who have joined us this glorious evening. As we close another chapter, bring an end to our session of the Dead Sea God. We bid you adieu and hope you will join us next time. Farewell. And we are off.